Thank you, Blacksad. You won't regret this. So let's cut to the chase. I need Bobby Yale to fight Stone. There's just too much money at stake. So, I'm offering you my help to find Yale. Let's work together.
What kind of help do you need?
A simple exchange of information. You're a good detective, and I, well, let's just say I have my own ways of making people talk.
I think I'll have to pass this time.
Why? What? Do my own ways scare you? Please, hear me out. Let's say I bet a beer that we find Yale in 3 days, and you bet a beer that we don't. In 3 days, one of us has to buy the other a beer. Is that so bad? We're simply two grown men using our money and free will to conduct a small private exchange. And most importantly, we're not hurting anyone. So, yeah, I run a gambling business. What's so bad about that?
It's immoral, for starters.
Immoral? I'll tell you what's immoral. The way our government is ruining America. We live in a so-called free country. A place where honest people can make a living, provided they don't hurt anybody. We're not communists. Well, at least I'm not.
I would have never thought otherwise. As for me... With all due respect, it's none of your business.
Ooh, all right. Never mind then. In any case, that's not my point. The government betrays our nation's values by passing communist laws that forbid an honest man like me to make a living without hurting a soul. And that, Mr. Blacksad, is just wrong. I didn't say it's unconstitutional. Do you get my point now?
Okay, but that doesn't justify what you do for a living.
Oh, boy. Did you hear anything I just said? Anyway, when the government passes these laws, there's only one legitimate weapon the people can wield. The same weapon that turned America into a great nation. Civil disobedience. So, as the proud American that I am, it's my duty to disobey.
You might have a point. In certain cases, civil disobedience is both right and duty.
Exactly. And when you hear just how I've transformed this business, you'll agree even more. I wasn't always a boss, you know. No, sir. I started at the bottom, when Lucky Blitzen ran the show. Not good for nothing. His was a reign of terror, extortion, violence, you know, that sort of unpleasant thing. When I took over, I decided I'd make people want to do my bidding. Not out of fear, but out of gratitude. I decided to help people so they would help me.
That beating your thugs gave me was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Those poor bastards didn't even know you were a detective, that you were on our side.
Maybe at first. But when they tied me up and beat the socks off me, they knew very well who I was.
Seriously? That goes against my rules. Who was it?
Yeah, the two of them.
Bastards. But don't you worry. I'll have a talk with those two. I cannot tolerate this behavior. Please, accept my apologies, Mr. Blacksad. You see, a lot of people work for me. Many families depend on my business. Not only that, St. Christopher's Hospice practically lives on my donations. The widows of my late employees are set for life. Their kids get free schooling. The cops leave me alone because they know my business doesn't hurt anyone. On the contrary. And, it looks like we're here.
Yale's apartment?
I told you, I'm on your side. Go ahead, search the place. I'll wait down here. When you're done, maybe you'll change your mind and share your findings with me. Or not. It's your call, Mr. Blacksad. I'll make sure you're suitably compensated. Colbert! Wilson!
The worst thing about O'Leary's boys dropping by isn't the beating, but the fact that I can't tell what's theirs and what's Yale's. Can't say this is the ideal drink for an athlete. Then again, it could be your classic bookie thug lunch. I'm not sure how Yale's love of pickles will help me crack the case, but it's good to know. A woman's fragrance, almost angelical. Nice chain. Why would you want such a big closet for so few clothes? Unless someone emptied it recently. Copy 1 of 3. Do you know any of his relatives?
His father, Avenarius.
Avenarius? The boxer poet? Didn't he disappear 20 years ago? So, you like your mob stories, don't you, Bobby? Seems like Bobby inherited something more than boxing skills from his father, besides the tendency to vanish into thin air, of course. So, you like your mob stories, don't you, Bobby? 17th century French fables. Mayor must be one boring old lady.
Bubby seems like a nice kid, but I barely know him.
Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life. Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life. That means she's been here recently. But why? What does Sweet Mary have to do with Yale, the murder suspect? When I left, I told O'Leary I hadn't found a thing. The minute I was alone, I left for Mary's. But before all that, I took a small parting gift for her. I've never trusted angels.
Mr. Blacksad? What a...
Surprise? When they fall, they turn into demons.
Joey told me he was going to spend the afternoon painting the gym and that Bobby would be fixing something up on the roof. So, after I found the body and called the police, I went to Bobby's place, but he wasn't there. Are you all right?
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking. So you knew that Yale was with Dunn when he died, and yet you told no one.
I guess I just forgot. Everything is so confusing. I'm sorry, Mr. Blacksad.
Don't be. I'm here to figure it all out. What's your relationship with Bobby Yale?
He was like a son to Joey, and we were about to get married, so, you know.
Okay, I think it's time to set things straight. I knew you were cheating on Dunn with Yale. Or was it the other way around?
No! How can you even think of something like that?
How can you convince me otherwise? I found a picture at Yale's apartment. It's you and him on a roller coaster. Care to explain, Miss Purnell?
I'm not white, Mr. Blacksad.
What?
7 of my great-grandparents were white. The 8th was black. According to law, I'm a black citizen, even if my skin says the contrary. Do you know what that means when you're born in North Arlington, Alabama?
Segregated healthcare, with far worse conditions for colored people.
We even have different water fountains, for God's sake. The separate but equal doctrine and all that.
That damn nonsense.
And all the lies. That's why I moved here. No one knows what color my great-grandparents were.
I'm black too, and I don't hide it.
Well, at least you're a man.
In any case, what's that have to do with Bobby Yale?
He's my nephew, Mr. Blacksad. Joe and I first started taking care of poor Bobby when my sister died. That was when he was almost 15. The 3 of us went on that trip to Luna Park.
So this is where Joe Dunn comes in.
Bobby was the only one who knew about me and Joey. We were afraid that someone would use my past to ruin his career.
It's not the first time I hear that story. I'm sorry I accused you so lightly.
Don't worry, I understand.
Mary smells like... Actually, the whole room smells like a pie fresh out of the oven, so I can't identify any other fragrances. About Sonia Dunn and the ring. I managed to hide the truth from her.
I appreciate it, but at the same time...
What?
No, nothing. Maybe she has a right to know.
That cherry pie smells so good. I'm starting to get hungry.
Thanks. I pulled it out of the oven right before you arrived. Oh, where are my manners? I'm the worst hostess in the world. Let me go get a knife from the kitchen. And you must be thirsty. Let me see. OJ? Coffee?
OJ is fine, thanks. She's wearing the same clothes in both pictures, so she's probably telling the truth. Sorry, I was going to help you with that. Now that there's almost no pie left, the scent has also disappeared. Interesting. Now Mary smells like a huge dog. Mary, when are you going to stop lying? I know your nephew is here. I can smell him.
What? No. I already told you I don't know where he is. You can search the whole house if you want. Go ahead. He's not here.
Wait a minute. She's not the one who smells like that. If he's not here right now, he must have left shortly before I got here. Where did he go?
Shortly before you got here? I wish.
Look, if he's making you do this, just tell me. I'll protect you.
Bobby would never do that.
That's where Bobby Yale's scent is coming from. So, that's why you were sitting there.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Could you step aside so I can check, please?
Please go.
Mary, for Christ's sake, put that knife down, would you?
Leave or I'll...
Mary, I came here to help.
I mean it.
I don't want to hurt you.
Leave her alone!
Bobby!
I'm on your side, Bobby.
I'm not on
Bobby!
Call an ambulance. Do as I say. Go on, call an ambulance. Do it now. In the face of a heart attack, there's two things you can't forget. 1, stay calm. 2, 1 chest compression per second. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. 3 Mississippi. 4 Mississippi. 5 Mississippi. 6 Mississippi.
Bobby! Oh, Bobby! Thank you, Bobby. Bobby. Thank you.
I had lots of reasons to consider this a great day. I had investigated a suicide case. I had discovered that, in truth, we were dealing with a murder. I had found and captured the prime suspect. And I had saved a life. And yet, everything in me screamed that something was going wrong. Terribly wrong.
Promise me you won't take the law into your own hands. I'd like to think we're not just vigilantes.
I want a gun!
What the hell?
Bang, bang, bang!
A fair amount of violence, extortion, and casualty.
I hate detectives.
Bang, bang, bang!
Your technique, cat.
That you, Smirnoff?
You seem agitated. Nightmare?
Yeah, I have a lot of those.
Yeah, that makes two of us. Anyway, why don't you go home? In his current condition, Yale's not going anywhere. Besides, we'll take it from here.
Thanks, but that won't be necessary. I can watch Yale on my own.
No doubt. I just saw exactly how vigilant you always are. As for what happened yesterday, you promised me you wouldn't intervene.
Bobby Yale attacked me. I had to do something.
If you had warned me, maybe we could have avoided his assault. Anyway, what's done is done. When exactly did you realize that he killed Dunn? Out of sheer curiosity. I'm a cop after all.
As soon as I realized that the murder weapon belonged to him.
How about the motive? Any ideas?
I know Dunn wanted to call the fight off after something Yale did, but I still don't know what.
In any case, hopefully Yale will tell us more.
Would you let me ask him some questions when he wakes up?
I know you will, with or without my permission, so I'd rather not feel betrayed. In exchange, drop by the station when you can. Your investigation could really help my men. Who, by the way, must be waiting for me to interrogate Mary Purnell. Boy, she was hard to pry from Yale's side.
She's been through a lot in the past days. Be nice to her.
Of course. In spite of it all, we're not just vigilantes. And as for you, go get some rest. God knows you need it. Tell the nurses to look at that face of yours. You look like a film detective in his last scene.
I'm afraid this film isn't over yet.
For your sake, I hope you're wrong. You're in charge now, officer.
Okay.
I'll send you relief in 6 hours. Understood?
Doctor,
Who are?
Oh, detective. Congratulations. You fared pretty well against that kid. Better than most would have. Now, if you'll excuse me.
well, I always land on my feet. We, as a society, simply don't trust reptiles. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is our extended belief that there's logic to that distrust, that it's natural and well-founded. We, as a society, simply don't trust reptiles. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is our extended belief that there's logic to that distrust, that it's natural and well-founded. How's Yale? Is he awake?
Oh, yeah. Go check on him before he falls asleep again. Although, try not to bother him with too many questions.
What's his current condition?
It's too soon to tell. He did have a heart attack after all.
Go away. I don't want to see you. The doctor told me to sleep.
I rarely get to interrogate a suspect with his guard down in a place as quiet as this. Getting the chance to study his body language with no distractions is a rare gift. He's looking straight at me. If he couldn't hold my stare, I'd think he's lying. But that's not the case. He's clenching his fist, a sign of contained anger. His heart rate is increasing. It could mean that he's lying, but it could also just be pure, unadulterated rage. Clenched fist, fast heart rate, fixed stare. He feels some genuine rage towards me. I'm sorry you don't want to see me, but... I saved your life, son.
Maybe my aunt feels gratitude. I certainly don't. Luckily, I just got my medication. I'll be snoozing soon.
All right, I'll just cut to the chase. Who killed Joe Dunn?
What? Are you trying to confuse me? Joe hanged himself.
Dunn was too short to hang himself with that rope.
So, it's true? He was murdered.
I know the murder weapon was yours.
What? The rope? I don't get it. What weapon do you need?
Don't play with me, boy. The chest expander.
An expander? I've never had one of those.
All right. Let's just say that I believe you. The murderer killed Dunn with a chest expander and planted evidence to make us believe it was suicide. But he also left enough clues behind to make sure we found the true murder weapon. Then he put the chest expander box in your locker to frame you. Do you know anyone that twisted and who also happens to have a motive?
I don't know.
Desmond O'Leary certainly seems twisted enough. Did he have anything against Dunn?
I'm not sure if they knew each other. At least not in person. About a month ago, Joe kicked one of O'Leary's men out of the gym. He was trying to give a business card to...
Jake's gym.
Yeah, exactly. Did Jake tell you about that?
Something like that. What about Sonia Dunn?
Sonia? I doubt it. She's odd, but she's his daughter.
I've seen worse, believe me. Maybe it was... What am I saying? Jake could never pull off something like that. Never mind. What about Frank Cassidy? Do you think he has a motive?
Maybe. A few weeks ago, Joe took me to a boxing managers association meeting.
Headed by Cassidy.
Yeah. He was obsessed with making it illegal for boxers to fight without a manager, or without an associated manager. Everyone seemed to go along with it until Joe spoke up. He said that would lower us to mob status, that Cassidy had founded the association just to make money by monopolizing the sport. That made others think twice. And Cassidy ended up empty-handed.
Poor Cassidy.
Blacksad, I think I owe you an, You know, my father disappeared when I was 6, right after winning a fight. We never heard from him again. Do you know what that does to a kid? Who knows where I'd be if Joe Dunn hadn't been in my life? Even when I lost my way, put a gun to his head years later, he still took me under his wing and managed to steer me in the right direction. And now that he's gone, you're risking your life to find his murderer. Thanks.
Thank you for... Is that eye movement normal? The hands say a lot about what's going on inside a person. He seems restless. Should I tell someone? The number of cigarette butts is inversely proportional to my hours of sleep. Ah, damn.
See, there's no fever whatsoever. He must be having a nightmare.
Are you sure?
Wouldn't you have nightmares too, after what he went through yesterday? I know I sure wouldn't sleep.
If that's a nightmare, he only has himself to blame.
Oh, the poor thing. Do you know what my nightmare is? It's that witch I have to work with. Oh. Good thing she's got trauma surgery at 12:30, but I wish it were a little sooner, you know? Anyway, thank you for letting me know, and for bringing him in. You don't know how excited I am to be involved in a criminal case.
It might not be important, but I need to take a look at his medical report. Ugh.